I expected you to have a Taylor Swift song today.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good old school tune, right?
Yes.
Good morning, Cubs. Today is Friday. It's Friday the 13th. Friday, December 13th, 2024. Friday the 13th in my family is lucky. A long time ago, probably I think just over 100 years ago, my grandpa was born on a Friday the 13th.
Oh, wow.
And so he told us for many generations while he was alive, Friday the 13th is lucky in our family.
That's awesome.
That's a great perspective.
That is a great perspective.
So we played Here Comes Santa Claus, but actually, here come the Lakota West Choir students.
Oh, that's today, isn't it?
That is today. We're so excited to have this assembly. In fact, it's a little extra special for me because my wife is the choir teacher at Lakota West High School. So she is bringing students with her here, which is kind of super cool. So when you hear me introduce Mrs. Hartman, there you have it, right? So,
awesome.
so we're going to have a great time with the assembly. They're going to sing some songs for us to listen to. There will be some songs for you to sing along with if you'd like to. And of course, all the regular assembly tips that we always give our Cubs,
Yes,
right, to be
absolutely.
successful. What do you think can help them have a great assembly?
I think this is going to be a weird recommendation, but we tend to get really riled up with dance music. I know Mrs. Skelton has a really hard time sitting still. So finding that just right body regulation is really important because the music's going to be fun, so you want to be able to get into it, but it's got to be at a level that doesn't like jostle your neighbors. It's not so disruptive that it's not taking away from other people's enjoyments. So I'm going to say my recommendation is the just right level of excitement for enjoying the presentation.
That's a good tip from you, Mrs. Skelton.
It's needed.
I love it.
It's very personal.
My recommendation is going to be when anyone performs, they want feedback to know that they're doing a great job and that you're enjoying it. So just a nice clap, just like this, is a way to show the performers that you are enjoying what they are sharing.
Those are great tips. Mine is going to have to do with your voices. So in this assembly especially, there will be many times for your voices to be on, because if you want to sing along, you can do that, and that would be great. But when someone is talking or when there's a song you don't know, voices off will help everybody around you be able to hear the singers. So
That's
thinking about when your voice should be on versus off.
So we kind of skipped birthdays today.
I'm sorry, I'm just so excited about the music.
I know you're so excited,
Let's do
and I'm so
birthdays.
excited for you. So Mr. Hartman is still working to get that just right excitement level. We're working on it. So there are actually no Cub birthdays for today, the 13th, or tomorrow, the 14th, but we do have one December 15th birthday, Evelyn Rayleigh in Miss Stein's room. Happy birthday. We hope you guys have an awesome, or we hope you, Evelyn, have an awesome birthday on Sunday.
Happy birthday,
Oh,
Evelyn.
yeah.
The weather outside is frightful.
Yes, it is, and 36 is the high today. I think you're still going to be able to get outside for recess. The sun is kind of trying to peek through the clouds, but it just hasn't figured out how to make a full entrance yet. So 36 today, but the weekend you can see 47. Rain is supposed to come on Sunday, but winter weather is here, so this is expected.
It is expected.
Lately, we are either cold or rainy.
Or both. Or cold
Yes.
and rainy.
Yeah, that does happen.
It almost is better for like the or. Like I would rather be it cold or rainy, but our weather right now is cold and rainy.
Or really cold and rainy, which would make it snowy. That would be fun.
That
Right.
would, yes.
That'd be great. We have been talking about empathy this month,
Yes.
being able to understand how someone else feels, right? And so
Yeah.
I'm excited for our Cub leaders for
Yes.
December. Can we announce those?
We have many. Would you like to start with kindergarten?
I would love to.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to start with kindergarten in Mrs. Benjamin's room. Congratulations. And I'll say the first name and the last initial. So Lincoln H. Miss Fiore's room, Lillian B. Mrs. Blackburn's room, Ishan S. In Mrs. Knabb's room, Alora R. In Mrs. Churko's room, Bridget D. In Mrs. Cunningham's room, Asiya B. In Mrs. Whistling's, Banks S. In Mrs. Lerman's, Lenny H. And Mrs. Cavender's, Elodie F. Congratulations to those kindergartners.
You have such a nice presentation voice, Mrs.
Oh,
Russell.
thank you.
All right, I'm going to do first grade in Miss Todd's room, Caroline H. In Miss Canatelli's room, Ella A. In Miss Core's room, Louis S. In Miss Musser's room, Jolene W. In Mrs. Patterson's room, Ashika N. In Mrs. Winkle's room, Abby W. In Mr. Harold's room, Lena W. In Mrs. Sprague's room, AJ M. That's kind of fun. AJ M. In Miss Fisher's room, Braylon W. And in Miss Stein's room, Christian S.
Thank you, Mrs. Skelton. Second grade Cub leaders for December. Congratulations to, from Miss Wozes' class, Ella S. From Mrs. Muller's class, Leah T.
Leah.
I know, Leah T. From Miss Eggert's class, Addie K. From Mrs. Kellerman's class, Palmer W. From Mrs. Nunn's class, Zoe R. From Miss Shepherd's class, Maya M. From Miss Allen's class, Ivan B. From Miss Cox's class, Gina K. From Mrs. Waldfogel's class, Dakari B. And from Miss Buffler's class, Jace W.
Wow.
Wonderful. Okay, these are for teachers that don't have a classroom. I have chosen AJ Curry from Mrs. Core's room. Congratulations. We have Mrs. Dyer has chosen Savannah A. from Mrs. Nunn. Mrs. Mino has chosen Sargon K. from Mrs. Morris.
Mrs. Manning chose Sanaya Kumar. Mrs. McLaughlin, Garaneza. And Mrs. Robinson and Nami G. in Miss Morris's room.
Special area teachers. Mr. Kellerman said Vera M. should be our Cub leader for this month, and she's from Mrs. Muller's class. Mrs. Fetzer picked Raina H. from Miss Cox's class, and Miss Haynes picked Oscar C. from Miss Allen's
Allen.
class. Yep.
Yay, good job, guys.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you for showing empathy, and we will have our Cub Leader reward next week.
We're excited about that.
So excited.
Oh, milk jugs.
Yes.
You will see we
On
have
our
milk
list.
jugs here on the table. This was crazy for me to believe. I know you've seen all the milk jugs in our hub, but Mrs. Beaker said we still do not have enough. So we need more milk jugs. Remember,
Did you pan over it? Yeah, it's great.
remember to fill it with soap, water, put the lid on tight, give it a shake, and then rinse it out and bring it into Mrs. Beaker. We do need the lid, so make sure the lid is on it. But we are
The lid
needing
is
more.
actually my favorite part because it kind of reminds me of like ornaments, like almost like it's decorated with like all the different colors. When it's lit up, it's very exciting to me to see all the different colors.
It's going to be a big igloo.
It really
Today is sprinting into winter break. We're athletic attire day. I know
Yes.
you've been looking forward to this
Looking
one.
forward to it for a very long time.
Sneak peek to Monday. I'm glad that it's plaid day on Monday. You can kind of see some plaid design that Mrs. Todd put on that slide for us. And your teachers can talk to you about plaid also if you're not sure what that is. But we're excited about
We can
plaid.
try to remember it over the weekend. That's going to be tricky, but I will do my best.
It's going to be a fantastic Friday.
It is. We're so excited to see you around, Cubs, and have some good presentation time together for the assembly and just a great day of enjoying each other today. We're excited.
Let's close with our motto.
Here at Creekside, we take care of others, we take care of ourselves, and we take care of this place. Creekside Cubs care.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great day, Cubs. Please stand for the pledge.